What is up, guys? The old agency model is dead. And in this video, I want to go over exactly what the old agency model consisted of, why it doesn't work, and I'm gonna go over the new model that actually works. And this is proven because I have tested this myself. I have built and scaled 3 different agencies to 10K a month within less than 2 weeks each. I have built 2 agencies past a $1 million a year run rate within around about 2 months, 2.5 months. And I also have worked with more than 250 agency owners one-on-one on this, many of which have seen a lot of success. And so I live and breathe this industry, and I know a thing or two about which models work and which models don't. And I'm not necessarily saying that my way of running the agency model is the best, and we're not necessarily saying that the other models don't work. What I am saying is that most agency models out there don't work as well as people tell you they do. Most agency models out there are pretty outdated and they don't work as well anymore, which means you have to put in an extraordinary amount of work to see average results, which at the end of the day is not a nice thing to do. And so in this video, I want to break down why it doesn't work anymore, what doesn't work anymore, and I'm going to break down what actually works now, why it works, and I'm going to tell you why it works so well exactly in this video. And then I'm going to break down to you exact action steps that you can follow to implement this for your own agency in 2025 to be able to crack 20K a month with your agency as soon as possible. And I actually have my phone here for some notes as well. And excuse me, by the way, it is very, very warm in the sun, but I thought this would be an amazing location to record this video, so you'll have to bear with me there. So the first thing that I want to dive into here is micro versus macro. Now, a lot of agency owners and a lot of even online business owners, when they first start out in the online business space, think that it's all about the niche, it's all about the service, it's all about the model that they choose. And although these things are very important, one fundamental thing that they don't understand is that businesses are there to solve problems. And all a business does is every single day solve problems on a daily basis. So as a business owner, it's natural that a lot of problems come up in the business every single day, especially when you're first starting out. Now, the fundamental mistake that a lot of agency owners and online business owners in general make when they're first starting out is that they start their agency and they pick a niche, they pick a service, they craft their offer, they start their marketing, right? They do some outreach or maybe run some ads or maybe start some content. And, you know, they get the ball rolling a bit and they try very hard for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and they don't really see the exact results that they wanted to see. They get way less results actually than they thought they actually could get in that time frame. And that discourages them a lot. And for that reason, a lot of them switch business models. They go into e-commerce or, you know, some other form of business, maybe growth operating or whatever they may think is the best thing to do at that point in time, whatever guru told them that that thing is the best thing to do. And, you know, some of them are, you know, a bit smarter and they switch niche rather than switching the entire business model. But that's still not the best way to go about it, because one fundamental mistake these people make and one fundamental thing that they don't understand is that if they start a business and things don't work, the problem is usually not the business model, because there are other people that have made it very successful in a pretty short period of time. And so, like, if they can do it in a similar time frame or in even a shorter time frame, and they did it like, you know, a couple months ago, maybe half a year ago, like, you can also make this successful. The problem usually doesn't lie in the macro, meaning in the big things. The problem isn't the model. The problem isn't the type of agency you're running. The problem isn't necessarily the niche you're running. The problem is in detail what you're doing. How you're doing things is what's preventing you from growing. Okay, and that's the micro. So most people don't have a macro business problem. Most people have a micro business problem. And people think that it's the macro, which is why they switch all of these things around, which is why they never see success, because they always switch what they're doing. Because they switch and then another problem comes up and then they think, oh, it's the niche, and they switch again. And this is the fundamental problem that most of you guys face. I can guarantee you, most of you guys watching this video right now have probably switched your niches like 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And you've probably even swapped business models like 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? You've probably tried dropshipping. You've probably tried all of these different things that people talk about online. Maybe you've tried crypto or Amazon FBA, and now you've landed at agency. Trust me, there are people that make shitloads of money in any of these business models and in any of these industries. So the problem clearly isn't the model, the problem is you. because in the micro, in how you implement things, you're doing it wrong. And so when you're starting something like an agency, you have to get it right. Okay, so when problems come up, you just have to find solutions to those problems rather than switching the entire business model around. Okay, so that's a fundamental understanding that we need to have. Macro versus micro. It's not that the macro is wrong, it's that the micro is wrong. And so you need to learn how to come up with creative solutions to the problems you're facing in your business on a daily basis in the micro. Okay, so that's what you have to do. Now, let me just look at my phone because the brightness is very, very low. After that, okay, we already talked about that. Micro is outdated, macro still works. Okay, that makes sense. So what I want to talk about now is that the way that people tell you to run an agency is outdated, but the micro is outdated. Okay, so what I mean by that is this. Running an agency can still be very profitable in 2025. Running an agency can make you very financially successful still. Right? So the macro is fine. The problem is in the micro. You cannot target local businesses and sell them $2,000 a month retainers for you to manage their ads. Okay, you can do that, and 100% you can make money with it, and you can also make 10K a month with it. But the problem with it is that so many people have tried this before, which means that the market is extremely saturated. And if you've ever tried working with like real estate agents or dentists or lawyers or anyone like that, then you know that they are getting called by like 10, 20 agencies every single day. And they're all selling the exact same things you're selling. And because of that, sure, you can make money, but it just takes a lot more effort for you to make average money. And that's not the type of business that you want to run, because you're getting into business for the freedom of it, okay? And so we don't want to do that. It doesn't make any sense to run an outdated model just for the sake of it, okay? And if you're watching this video right now and you're making less than 10 to 20K a month, then it's very likely that you're running one of these outdated micro methods or models, okay? So again, the agency model still works in 2025 and it works very well, but the exact way, the micro in which you're doing it, might be very outdated. Okay, and so I'll list a couple of things here right now, and maybe you can, correlate to some of these and see how you're doing a lot of these things, and that's why you're not getting success or not seeing the success that you want to see. Okay, micro problems and micro things that a lot of agency owners are doing wrong. For example, outreach. What they're doing is they're sending hundreds and hundreds and thousands of DMs or calling thousands of businesses every single month. Why is this a bad thing? This is a bad thing because you're optimizing for quantity. The problem is everybody does that. Everybody can craft a generic outreach message and send it to people on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. A 5-year-old can do that. Do you genuinely believe that you'll get extraordinary results if you're doing something that a 5-year-old can do? Clearly, you won't, okay? And so the best way to outreach currently, and again, I'll give you first what doesn't work in the micro and then what works for the agency model in the macro afterwards, every single time, so you have a full understanding of this. So in the micro, what doesn't work is generic outreach that you send to hundreds and thousands of prospects. Now, in the micro, on the other hand, what works right now is having a personalized pitch format and only pitching the best of the best in the industry. Meaning you're looking for the best clients, the top 1% of the clients, and you're just aiming for them. You're not talking to everybody. You're talking to the people that you can actually help, that can actually pay you well, okay? And you're presenting a specific solution to them. And this brings me to my second point. You hiring a contractor from Fiverr or Upwork, or you learning Facebook ads in some random ass course and then trying to deliver the service doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because you have to go through a lot of trial and error to actually, do it well and succeed with it and get your clients results. And so the problem with it is that you don't really know what you're doing. Your delivery just sucks ass, because if your delivery was good, you would be making a lot more money, trust me. And so if you're not good at your delivery yet, how about you just gain those skills in the first place? How about you just work with people on a performance basis, maybe getting a small revenue share or something like that. Just get your foot in the door in some way, shape or form and work with as many people as possible and get very good at this one specific skill set that you're looking to bring to the market. And this can really be anything. It can be into the direction of branding and content. This can be into the direction of ads. This can be into like literally any direction, sales team, hiring and recruiting, can be anything. But you need to understand that for you to gain an edge in the marketplace, you need to be good at what you're doing. And most of you just aren't good at what you're doing. Okay, and I need to call you out on that because otherwise you're not gonna get very far with your business model and in this industry. Okay, so step number one, stop doing generic outreach to hundreds and thousands of people. It doesn't work anymore. Step number two, get good at what you do. Get good at the service that you're providing. Don't think that you can charge $20,000 up front just because you learned Facebook ads from some random ass course. If it's easy to do, it likely won't get you great results. Okay? Because everything that gets you great results in your agency is going to be things that are hard to do. Okay? Point blank. So again, first step, understand that personalized outreach to the best of the best in the marketplace is the way to go for outreach. Then understand that you have to get very good at your service in the first place. Okay, those are the first two parts to it. Now the second part to it is this. A lot of you are aware that the way to gain a lot of leverage in your company in 2025 and the way to make a lot of money in your company in 2025 is personal branding. And although you understand on the macro how important it is, I'm sure a lot of you don't even try in the first place. Okay, if you don't try in the first place, why? Just why? Like, just start, okay? If you're already trying, you're likely not really getting good results from it. And I can tell you why. And I was actually speaking about this with one of my clients yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I think this was, on a group call that we had. It was very productive. We were on that call, and I was explaining this to him because he was producing a lot of content and he was really good at it. Like, he had great edits and he had great cutting and the video was well scripted and all of these things. And for some reason, his content still wasn't getting any traction. And he was asking me why his content wasn't getting any traction besides him like spending money on it and trying his very best to make it as good as possible quality-wise. And I told him, at the end of the day, you're just not different. There is no differentiation between what you're doing and what your competition is doing. Although your quality might be pretty high, there's a lot of people that produce high quality videos, okay? And so like, what's actually differentiating you from your competition? There's no uniqueness in what you're doing. And if you look at anybody that has large brands in the industry, and I always try to observe the market as well as possible and as in-depth as possible. If you look at anybody in the industry that's doing very well, these people usually have some uniqueness to them. They own one way of doing content. They might be super funny or make, you know, and sorry, but some of them just make a lot of racist jokes. Or they, you know, are specifically good at this one thing, or they talk in this weird way. They always have some uniqueness to what they're doing. They're not lame, okay? Like, the number one rule for content is don't be lame. And most of you guys are fucking lame, okay? Like, you're just lame. If you look at your videos, no one wants to watch them. Genuinely. YouTube is very, 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 very pleasant, right? The platform is very pleasant. It's very fair. If you're not getting traction and views and clients from YouTube, your videos suck. That's it. That's it. And the thing is, like, my content, it's not like my content is getting millions of views, right? I'm getting better every day. And I'm finding the best ways to build my own brand for my own business. But at the end of the day, I still understand that the reason as to why I'm getting the views I'm getting and the reason as to why I have the amount of subscribers I have is because my videos aren't good enough to get X amount of subscribers, right? I may get 1,000 views on certain videos. My videos aren't good enough to get 10,000 views a video, because if they were, they would get that amount of traction, okay? And so stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop thinking that there's some extraordinary external circumstance that controls your videos and kind of brings you bad results. Like, the bad results are there because you're not good at what you're doing, okay? So like, I know that I'm getting more into the direction of just telling you that what you're doing isn't good, but that's just what it is. If you're not getting results, then that's why, okay? So again, outreach, don't do generic outreach. Service, be good at what you do. And if you're not, then work with people Just do revenue share or do for free, do some work, get the ball rolling and get your feet wet, get your foot in the door, okay? Get good at what you do because you need to have expertise to charge a lot of money. So those are the first 2 steps. Again, personalized outreach, get good at what you do, then understand that for your brand and for your content, you need to be unique. You need to be cool. You shouldn't be lame. Your content should be interesting. And if it's not getting views, your content isn't interesting. Point blank. That's it. And the thing is, again, there's a lot of things that we can talk about here, like scripting or editing or, the hooks and the titles and the thumbnails and all of these things. Fundamentally speaking, none of these things matter if you're lame. Don't be lame, okay? So that was the first point that I needed you to understand and internalize in this video. Now let me just check my phone right here. Okay, now in the micro, right, what agency structure is the best to run in 2025? I talked a lot about what not to do. Now I'm gonna talk about what to do, okay? So you have to have one fundamental understanding here, which is that you can make a lot of money in a very short period of time if you are where the attention is, right? We all know that we live in an attention economy, and where the attention is, the money is. So if you can be where the attention is, you automatically make a lot of money in a short period of time, okay? So that's a fundamental understanding we need to have. Now, a lot of attention, where is a lot of the attention? Well, first of all, we need to be good at actually monitoring the marketplace. Like we need to be good at looking at the market from an objective point of view and assessing, okay, where's the attention moving? And this is my personal take, okay? Again, this is not like facts and everybody has to listen to this. You don't have to listen to this. I frankly don't care. But this is what I believe is gonna happen based on my own research and based on my own feel that I get for the marketplace because I'm very involved in this industry and I've been for some solid period of time. So a lot of attention, because of various variables right now, are moving towards the info product space. First of all, I believe that more and more money is going to start moving away from traditional institutions and is going to start moving into online education more and more. And for that particular reason, I think being in the online education marketplace is a good thing to do, right? Right now, the online education industry or the creator economy is valued at about $270 billion roundabout, and it's projected to be at $500 billion by 2027, which is in 2 years. So it's literally doubling in like 2 years, okay? So like first things first, a lot of money is moving away from traditional institutions like universities and moving towards online education. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because people want to acquire skills that make them stand out in the marketplace, because more and more people catch on to the fact that university doesn't mean shit. Like most universities. Obviously, if you go to like an Ivy League university like Harvard or Stanford, that's different. But like normal universities, you study for 4 years. You study complete theory for 4 years straight. You get a degree or a piece of fucking paper that no business cares about anymore because everybody has it. And to break this down, you're not guaranteed to get a job with it. You're not guaranteed to get a good job with it. Most businesses don't care about these pieces of paper anymore for the simple reason that everybody has them because the barrier to entry is so low. So like everybody has it, no business cares about it, and it doesn't help you to differentiate yourself in the marketplace at all. So like, how can you make a lot of money or how can you make more money than what you're currently making? Well, you need to be different, you need to be better, you need to acquire more skills, and people do that through buying online education, coaching programs, courses, whatever that may be on any subject. More and more money is gonna move into that market, okay? For that particular reason. And then there's obviously other things going on, like big players in the space like Iman Gadzhi acquiring parts of WOP and firms like that. These things obviously also move more and more eyeballs into this direction. But my whole point being is that more and more money is moving into the info product market. And again, if you want to make a lot of money in a short period of time, then you have to position yourself where the attention is. And by the way, if you want help doing all of this, if you want help like in detail, in depth on implementing all of these things, implementing the right methods for acquisition, to get high ticket clients that pay you 10K upfront, to actually scale your agency the right way as I'm talking about in this video in 2025, I will put a link down below, first link in the description. It's going to link to a video where I talk about my story and kind of what I do for a living. You can watch through that, and if that's at all interesting to you, then you can just book a call from that, okay? And just talk to me one-on-one. But besides the point, okay? So a lot more money is going to move into this industry, okay? So that's what we need to understand. So you need to position yourself in that industry. And there's really only two ways to do this. The first one is you run an agency yourself. okay? And that agency serves info products. The second one is you own an info product. Each one are good, but you have to get into one of these two vehicles if you want to have an edge in 2025, because again, a lot of money is moving into these markets and it becomes increasingly harder and harder and harder to scale and grow an agency the traditional way. And trust me, I know this because I've worked with clients like Tim and Andre, for example, who are making 10 to 20K a month with their agency e-com business, right? So they have an agency that serves e-commerce and they serve CRO, like conversion rate optimization services. And the thing with them is they couldn't break past a certain point because their way of running the agency was capped. It was capped and unleveraged. And that's why they're getting into other vehicles now as well. So the whole point I want to make is the people that make a lot of money don't necessarily work that much harder than you. The people that make a lot of money aren't necessarily way smarter than you or know this one secret technique. These people just understand that they need to be where the attention is. And if you're where the attention is, money will come to you, okay? So we need to have this understanding. That was the first couple of points that I wanted to mention. And now for the last point, I want to give you some action items, okay? Note this down and implement all of these things step by step to actually, grow your agency the proper way in 2025, the way I spoke about. The first thing you need to do is you need to get clear on your ICP, okay? So get clear on exactly who the person is that you're targeting, who is your ideal client. Get clarity on that. As soon as you have your ideal client, you now want to find the biggest problem they have. When you found the biggest problem they have, you now want to create the perfect solution for that one particular problem. I literally cannot see anything on this phone anymore. And after that, you want to put an adequate price point on this solution. Okay, so find ICP, find the ICP's biggest pain point, create the perfect solution, put adequate pricing on top, charge what you're worth. And then afterwards, you want to create a VSL, okay? You want to create a VSL, and this is specifically for outreach. You want to put together a video that's like, say, 10, 20, 30 minutes long, maybe sometimes 3 minutes long, depending on how many things that you want to run through. And you want to create a generic VSL that you can send to people with a proposal, right? So you could literally talk about anything there, but what you want to talk about mainly is, and this is the way I do it, you put together a video, and this is, you record it once and you send it to everybody. You put together a video, and in that video, you're saying, what's up, man? If I sent you this video, then it's probably because I think I can help you solve problem, and I do that by solution. Now, I want to show you exactly what I've actually done before and what the results were that I have been able to generate and how we generated them. So you not only know that I know what I'm talking about, but also get the exact system A to Z. So if you don't want to work with me, you can literally go ahead and implement it for yourself. And then you walk through that, you sprinkle 1 or 2 CTAs in, that's it. This is the simplest way to do it, okay? And it works very well. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, Elias, but I don't have the proof. I don't have the client case studies to talk about. Work with people, okay? Go to people, work for free, work on revenue share. Do anything you can to just get better at what you do, okay? Because proof is the #1 asset you have in this industry and you have to leverage it, okay? So create that VSL, then start creating YouTube videos. Be authentic, talk about what you can do, talk about the topics that interest your ideal client, and then be consistent with it every day, okay? And if you wanna add one more cherry on top of that, get a mentor, get a coach, get someone that can help you actually go through this process. And the thing is this, like, I'm not saying you need to work with me on this, like you can work with anybody, I don't fucking care. I'm making my money either way, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here without working with the right people. I've worked with more than 6 different people over the last 3 years, and I've paid a bunch of money to these people. I've been in programs that cost 20K up front. I've been in programs that cost 5,000 a month for 12 months fixed, so like 60K a year. I've done this myself, and I know that without help, you can't really do it and you can't really get there. So that's everything that I wanted to walk through in this particular video. If you like this video and if you found value, like it, subscribe if you want to see more of these. And if you have literally any questions, reach out to me on IG or put them down in the comment section right now. I'll see you in the next one.